What is up? Turn the bad boy down and then well, welcome. It is Wednesday. I thought today was Tuesday, by the way. Welcome to Nash Talk. My name's Chris Anthony, and I am I'm downtown somewhere in Nashville. Where am I? I'm downtown, right?
Yeah, around East Nashville.
Nashville.
Off of Gallatin.
Off of Gallatin. You wonder who this handsome young man to my right is? And, well, actually, you're left. I wonder if I should mirror this. Let me see if I could probably mirror this. Should I mirror it? Wait, can I see your hat okay? No, it says your hat perfectly.
Hey, there we go.
All right, cool. Let me get over here.
Fine, plug this. It's local place. I actually do a lot of Wicked Ollie's vintage. Yeah.
Well, as you can see, my name is underneath this young man. His name is Kevin Riley Corbo. Kevin Corbo, bass player for a very popular band here in Nashville. If you've ever been to a place, you might have heard of this guy, the place, Kid Rock. It's over off of Broadway and 3rd, right?
Yeah, right? Yes, just right on the corner there.
Right, and they're on the main stage. Here, move over a little bit. Get in the screen. They don't want to see me.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so anyway, if you can hear in the background, we're at a place called The Underdog. Let me see. Well, I wonder if I can take my camera. I'll do it in a minute. But anyway, I just want to keep it focused on this right now. And I do have a background suppressor on here in case you wonder. They got this new technology. When they're upgrading, they go, oh, this AI software, and it can do this, and it can filter out stuff. But I'm sure you're going to hear some of that in the background. We got the microphone pretty close.
Yeah, we got the sound check going.
Yeah, we got the sound check going. So anyway, I really am excited and delighted to bring this young man on here because you've been playing bass now for how long?
Oh, goodness. I want to say about 12 years. Yeah, 12, pretty much on the dot, as a matter of fact. So there we go.
There you go. Yeah. So where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Los Angeles. Yeah,
Ooh,
I was born and raised in LA, and I lived in Florida for a little bit, and then came up to Nashville from there around the time that I turned 18, and I've been here ever since.
So a year.
Yes. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Well,
no, about 9, going on 9 years now.
9 years. So let's do the math. So you're 28, right?
I would be 20. I'm 26 now. I'm
26.
about to turn 27. So.
I didn't carry the one. And there's musicians from all over, like walking all around. It's because it's an all-star night, right?
Yeah, precisely.
The all-time low stars. They call it the all-time low stars, right?
Now
Peter Keys.
Yeah, Peter Keys, Lance Lopez.
Now, Peter Keys, not to take away from this fellow here, but what Peter Keys, he is from?
He's Skinnerd, and as a matter of fact, he also played with George Clinton for a little while, which is surprising. He's done production work for us, so I'm here just to hang out and support and network and all that. And beyond that, the lead singer for the Hippies and Cowboys, Aaron Sparling, is on the bill. So
wow,
yeah.
So you guys are, it's a very cohesive kind of thing. I like that because you guys kind of like roam around, even though you guys have your own particular gig with Hippies and Cowboys. Mm-hmm. And I know it seems like everybody I talk to works down here. I'm going to put my hand over the light. Can I do that? Oh, there we go. 7 nights, almost 7 nights a week. Now, do you guys take breaks sometimes?
I mean, breaks in terms of the amount of day, like we'll have some days off per week. Sure. Sometimes we won't, right. But most of the time we'll have kind of our own version of the weekend, which just happens to be instead of Saturday and Sunday, Monday and like Wednesday or something like that. It really just depends. I mean, it's a lifestyle instead of just a job,
sure.
And a career. So in that regard, in some way or form, you are kind of always on, like you always have like a little, you're always responding to fans or talking to people or getting some business done throughout the day. It's a 24/7 kind of commitment, to that process and to the lifestyle of just being a musician in general,
Sure.
When it comes to being a professional musician, and only a professional musician, I suppose,
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. So what got you into being a bass player? Was there like a particular instrument or music thing that you got into at the beginning?
Well, I grew up around music and
LA, of course.
Yes, yeah, for sure. But I grew up around music, and my dad had some old like blues band, blues R&B, funk kind of projects out there, and
Sure.
so I was around all of those instruments my entire life. And around the time that I was 14, I was actually studying to become like a visual artist, a painter, and illustrator. And at one point, I just looked at the bass, and I was just like, well, let me try this out. Let me see if this can, like, make me a bit more popular in middle school or whatever, like
Right.
some sort of, thing that I don't even really think with now. But that was it. That was probably the initial impetus that got me started in picking up the bass. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So when you said middle school, now did you play in any particular bands or anything like that?
No, I mean, I used to play a little bit with my dad growing up, here and there, but you know, surprisingly, the very first band that I had started and was something where it was kind of more or less my project, oddly enough, happened to be like a Latin jazz trio in Los Angeles.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Sure.
was a quartet at first, and then the drummer, like, we stopped using that drummer because he just wasn't very good.
Right.
Yeah. But no, I had a Latin jazz trio, and so that's very much my roots are stemmed in like jazz and blues and R&B and whatnot. I mean, honestly, aside from what you would hear on the radio, I didn't really get introduced to rock and roll until I was considerably older than many of the other folks who do this for a living. So
Sure.
and I think that's one of the things that makes our group unique as compared to other rock and roll bands that are coming up around this time, is that we just have so many different influences. Uh, just not only different artists and different lifestyles growing up, but different genres entirely. And it just sort of amalgamates into this rock and roll, interesting rock and roll soul kind of band.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Yeah. So, okay. So now you're LA. You have all these different influences. You're pretty sparked up. Take us to the journey between LA and Nashville,
Oh,
or
goodness. Well,
LA to Nashville.
Yeah.
Was it just a straight shot, or?
I mean, just like any kind of big move like that, it takes a lot to get the momentum behind you in order to actually pull the trigger on something like that.
Right.
I mean, Los Angeles, as difficult as people find it to live there, it is still very difficult to leave. And it is a very, honestly, for all of its issues, that's my home. That's where I came from. Those are my stomping grounds. So I do still have a lot of nostalgia when it comes to Los Angeles and California in general. But I'm very, very much happy to be here.
Sure.
And the South has just very much become my home. And I was very fortunate because around the time my mom was really getting sick of LA, and so we both moved out here together.
Interesting.
Around the time, like, I was just freshly 18, and I mean, we had been talking about moving out here for like the past year, and between the two of us getting all of that together, just selling all of the stuff that we weren't able to take in a car, we ended up making it out here, and haven't looked back since.
Sure. Wow.
Yeah.
I got my sound check lady talking to me right now. Actually, okay. No, we're clear. Okay. So that's a pretty good description of when you landed here. What happened then, as far as Nashville? So you're here.
I honestly
10 years ago?
Yeah, about 10 years ago.
Okay.
9, going on 9, I want to say.
2014, 15?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Either 13 or 14. Yeah, I want to say it was about summer of 2014. I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot for somebody that age, but it was a very interesting situation where when I came out here, I didn't have like any connections or anything like that. I didn't have somebody who was like, oh, let me introduce you to so and so, so and so, and so and so, and this is going to be, this is going to be your career. This is what's going to make you successful, or whatever.
Right.
I very much had to strike out on my own and make my own connections.
How did you do that? What was the process? Because if anybody's watching this later or right now, and by the way, thank you, Mikkel. Thank you very much. Also very influential in the rock, Nashville scene, etc. But with that, I see meet people all the time where they've been here 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 years, or what have you, and they're still trying to make those connections and cement themselves in the Nashville circuit.
Trial and error. I have, yes, very much. I mean, I have made so many connections that through one way or another, or from one perspective to another, have just not worked out for me. And I think you got to be able to put yourself in a position where you're willing to make those mistakes, and where you're willing to work with that individual that happens to really want to screw you over, because that's how you learn. That's how I learned. It was the hard way. It wasn't anyone telling me hey, stay away from so and so and so and so because they're gonna lead you down this path or that path.
Sure.
But I'm very fortunate to have found the people that I have found and to have developed the kind of relationship that I have with them, because rather than it being it's a professional situation for sure, but with any band, especially one that where you're starting out and you're building up from there, it does become like a family kind of situation. I mean, there's that old maxim. I'm certainly not the one to come up with this, but it's so true that really being in a band is like being married to 2-3 other people,
Right. Perfect. Yeah.
And it's difficult. You have up days, you have down days, you have days where you just want to completely leave and ditch everything. But then there's that little thing in the back of your mind of all of the stuff that you've gone through with this individual and with this group, to keep you going, to keep you there, and to keep you committed. It's loyalty, and having that as a good fundamental. Beyond that, of course, being skilled, having the goods,
right.
But just being loyal, being a good hang, being able to temper your ego, and also being able to speak up when you need to, when you really need to say something. That's the ideal situation. And in many circumstances, some people don't even have that, I mean, Nashville very much is the kind of town where you can go here and rather than start something yourself, you can enter a current going concern, something that's already successful, and make somewhat of a mark with that yourself. But it's not like you're one of the original guys, It's just yeah.
Wow. So okay. Now, I came from LA with your mom almost 10 years ago, and bass was your forte. That was your primary instrument. By the way, if you're picking up the background music, that's what Nashville's all about.
Yeah.
So, this
exactly.
is, we were talking before, let me see your little sidebar. I've done this a lot of times, many times actually remote, and the last 2, this is being my second one, where I'm actually at a place where we're actually outside and we can hear all these various musicians coming together tonight for this all-star jam, you included.
Yeah.
And so I like the vibe in the background, so if we're getting any kind of audio pickups in the background, that's okay. I did try to adjust and attenuate my microphone accordingly so we could both be heard, but I just wanted to, whoever's out there listening, this is the vibe of Nashville no matter where you go. And okay, so let's get back to you with let's start with Hippies and Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we're going to get into maybe some studio, or if you're doing as far as recording in studios and sessions like that. And I know there's got to be a certain amount of hours you have to put in for practice, but Hippies and Cowboys, let's go there. You guys play how many times a week together?
Anywhere between, we've got one residency that is a for sure thing that we're always going to make ourselves available for, except in very extreme circumstances, and that would be Tuesday nights from 10 p.m. till closing time, which is usually around 2 a.m. The next day.
Which is
at Kid Rock.
Okay, Kid Rock.
Yeah.
On Bourbon Street. Very popular.
On Broadway.
Or Broadway. Did I say Bourbon Street? I'm sorry. I did say Bourbon. Sorry.
That's quite all right.
New Orleans. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, Broadway. I apologize. Because Broadway comes in two different segments. There's Division, and then there's downtown Broadway. Yeah. Okay, but it's the same street, about a mile apart. But anyway, so let's go there. They have a line around the building. It's a multi-floor facility. Holds quite a few people, as a matter of fact. But you guys have the primary main stage.
Yes.
It's a multi-level stage. You can see it and hear it. And especially in the warmer weather, they leave the windows open, and you guys can hear it down the street. And everybody wants to go to Kid Rock. And these are the guys you want to see. So tell us about Hippies and Cowboys and your bandmates and the audience and that kind of stuff.
I mean, how we got started at Kid Rock?
Yeah, let's start with
that. That's actually a very good story, because the way that happened was it wasn't a straight shot. We actually did not audition, which normally every single person who goes in has to audition. We were one of the lucky few where Aaron, the lead singer, had auditioned previously, just as himself, and got placed with the band. And through some situation, honestly, his take on it is very interesting, because basically he got into trouble with the management, not in huge trouble, but it was enough for them to be like, all right, we got to take you off the schedule. And he just never, he always had that push and that drive to get back onto that circuit. Now, the way Broadway works is that it's not every single bar owned by every single person, or each by individual people, It is owned by a select few people. The entire strip, all of those, I would say probably 50, 60 bars, maybe more than that. I've never counted. But they are owned by probably a total of 5 or 6 people or entities.
I've heard that 6 people.
Yeah. There's 6.
So there's truth to that.
six entities. There's more people than that, but it's there's one entity, which would be the Tootsie circuit, which Kid Rock's, Tootsie's, Rippies, Honky Tonk Central, and the diner down there are all owned under this one entity, which has multiple people, but there is an individual owner and whatnot. But
Steve Smith.
Yeah, Steve Smith is the he pretty much started that. He's like the godfather of downtown Broadway. Yeah.
Did he have a godfather in Nashville?
No, he's an interesting guy. I met him a couple of times before. I've always had a pleasant time speaking with him. But anyway,
so he's a good guy.
Yes. Oh yeah. From what I could tell, certainly. Yeah. I had a nice conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good. That's good to hear.
Anyhow, so fast forward. We're playing at a different.
Sorry about that.
No worries. We're playing at a different honky tonk down there.
Right.
And after every single show that we had at that honky tonk, it was either Aaron or myself or both of us, mainly just the two of us. The rest of the band came and went as well. We would always go down to Kid Rock's to hang out and support the band that was playing there, and to see about getting on stage and performing, and we ended up
this is interesting stuff. This is really cool.
We ended up building this relationship with one of the bands that played Mondays, because we had a residency at the different honky tonk Monday evenings, and from there we would always just truck down to Kid Rock's and hang out. And there was a band led by a girl by the name of Rachel Blunt, and she had the residency. She had been, I think she still plays there. She still has a residency, but she had the residency for the past like 2-3 years before we even arrived. And we got in really good with her, and she would let us on and let us perform. And it was basically through that she, as far as I understand, now don't quote me on this, but as far as I understand, management was kind of curious and interested in what we had to offer through being able to get on stage and perform and support her band. And from there, we ended up getting into the circuit basically through like a back channel, so to speak, you know? And I mean, we still went through. Just because we didn't do the audition doesn't mean we still had to pay our dues and play like some of those rougher scheduled gigs, where they would have you at like two in the afternoon till like six in the evening or whatever. Yeah. I mean, that's the crazy thing about Broadway, and Broadway just as an entity and economy in and of itself. I mean, it's from 10 in the morning till 2 a.m. the next day, sometimes 3 in the morning the next day. There's music going on somewhere downtown Broadway every single day. Yeah. Every single day, except for Sunday. It starts at 11 instead of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So I've seen guys where they go from one shift to another shift, but another club. Like, and to go get through these buildings, you got to go downstairs, haul in your gear, and it's like you're your own roadie, pretty much, right?
Yes, very much.
Yeah, they don't have like a crew waiting for you, like where they got to carry it and set up. And I've watched it; it's amazing the discipline and the stamina that you have to have. That's just part of being successful to get those gigs on Broadway.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there is a general backline, which is for the most part expected of all the clubs down there, which would be a bass amp on stage and a drum kit without the cymbals. That's pretty much what you could expect. But of course, that's also not necessarily the case for every single place down there. But that's what you have on stage. And if you're a stickler for bass tone or something like that, then I probably wouldn't bother with Broadway, because you're gonna have to work with what you work with, or you're gonna have to lug all of that equipment to and from every single show and move the equipment that's already there and put yours in place, and it just becomes this big headache, which is just unnecessary. Basically.
So it trims the fat, it expedites the process, but you're at the mercy of somebody else's equipment when you get there.
Precisely. Yeah. So from the rhythm section perspective, absolutely. With very few exceptions. But I've gotten quite comfortable with the gear that I use, and I've been lucky enough that I play Kid Rock's consistently enough that I've gotten accustomed to that the piece of the equipment that they have on stage. So I can get a pretty good sound out of that. I mean, it's not my material, it's not my equipment, but it's just what I have to work with.
That begs a question. And by the way, people are putting comments, by the way, and some of the names I can't see because we're broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube, and it'll also be connected to Instagram and Twitch.
Oh yeah, there we go. So how long does it usually take to set up? No longer than a half an hour, and that includes the sound guy getting a sound check and you being like ready like for downbeat. Usually, like, man, if you're really in a rush or something, I would say you'd probably have to be set up within 5 minutes, 5-10.
I've seen them do it. It's crazy.
Yeah,
and
it does happen.
And what's really cool is that I just met these guys like 5 or 6 months ago. You and Aaron, lead singer, he's actually here. That we have time, we're gonna sit, he can come up and say hi, but if he wants to, but this is Kevin's moment right now. But anyway, I've seen these guys, and they're all super friendly. Like they could just, they have hundreds of people wrapped around them every single night, and they're in a hurry to get to their set and do a 4-hour set. I've watched you guys do like 15 songs in less than the time that a DJ does it.
Yeah.
And it's nonstop. They don't take breaks for 4 hours. And I've seen, and here's the thing about Nashville this summer, because I was here from the beginning of the summer all the way through it, and the windows are open, and man, it's got to be grueling heat. Like you're just sweating, and they're like, you guys are like people that work at Disney World, where they have to smile no matter what. And you guys are just up there. And, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I mean, of course you have to be. My MO is always the show must go on. I've had some of the worst. I mean, everything that probably could happen on stage in terms of it going wrong, I've had happen. Man, I'm trying to like curb my tongue to like.
It's okay.
Like
it is a question.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, no, I saw that. Have you had any horror stories with things not working on stage? I have had equipment failures on stage. The worst case scenario was just the amp just completely going out, and I had to think quickly and get my get things together so that I could still like have something that was sounding, so to speak. Didn't necessarily sound good, but was sounding, And in that case, I just took a little DI box and plugged directly into that, and then just had my stuff running through the PA.
Right.
I mean, they fortunately, if it got so bad that the PA didn't work, the bar would just close down temporarily. Like they would lose out on so much. Yeah, they would lose out on so much money from that they have to make sure that that it's working properly. And fortunately, the bars that happen to be busier, it is so much less likely for stuff like that to happen that it's pretty much negligible. You can just disregard it. Yeah.
Wow. So that's a great question, because it is a machine, and you can walk down, and every 6 feet, it seems like. I'm exaggerating, of course, but there's so many bars with talent, and they have the windows open playing just like this, where you can't avoid the sound. I carry earplugs, by the way. Those here, they call them eargasm.
Oh, always.
Yeah.
I have them.
Oh, do you have some too?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have.
Good for you.
Well, not those. Not that brand, but I used to have those. They work well. But I just have a little pillowcase on my keychain.
Pillowcase. I have the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is fancy. I got the lady. Yeah. You got to carry them, and you can hear the music, but it takes out the frequencies that will wreck your hearing eventually.
Yes, precisely. I've also found that that it makes it a little easier to sing. I don't know. This might just be like a personal thing,
that's right.
but
You sing
because
too.
you have the earplugs in there, and it kind of you're able to hear your own personal vibrations a little bit more to the point where, like, if you're trying to sing a harmony, so I always carry that on me for those 2 reasons.
I hate when you have to pull them out and then you drop it on the ground.
Right. I've had that happen.
Really? Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And then they're like really supple, like flat, like rubber to fit in your ear canal, and then it picks up all the dirt on the ground, like
True, yeah. And then you have to take it in, and you gotta wash it off.
Yeah, wash it off.
All this which is honestly, you should probably do that, consistently anyway. Regardless of whether you drop them, because it's got all the earwax and stuff on it.
See the things you see and learn. See, that's Nashville, folks. I mean, every time I do this, and it's like, people have asked me, like, because you can ask the same basic questions, but it's like watching your favorite movie 20 times. You're always going to pick up something different, something new and different. And right now, you've answered probably 4 or 5 questions that I've never even heard yet.
Huh.
And these are the things that, because I want the audience, if you're an artist, a singer, songwriter, whatever, anywhere, even if you never come to Nashville, this is what an artist does. They practice. You don't get paid to practice. learn their craft, buy their instruments, learn how to hook up and deal with everybody's stuff. But then you come to Nashville, then you got to have this community. You got to stifle your ego, all your hang-ups, because you're going to get along with people, and people have to see you, and they want the best of whatever you provide, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
certainly.
covers, you play a lot of covers, but you also have your originals. So those are the two forces of nature that are blended here in Nashville.
Yes.
So speak on that.
Yes. Working. I want to say that there's probably three kind of niches within the music community here in Nashville.
Okay.
There's the cover band people, like Broadway stuff, and I don't want to say that that's it's a community, but it's also not a community. Like, you have the people who like kind of are more or less just want to work with the people that they work with and everything. And you do have a few actual bands, but for the most part, you will have a lot of fly-by-night groups or fly-by-night people who just, they either are involved in a particular circuit or a multitude of circuits, where they get most of their work that way. And in that circumstance, that's usually how people end up doing those like 2-3 shifts a day, 4 hours per shift, 12 hour, playing 12 music for 12 hours a day, that sort of thing.
Non-stop.
Yeah, non-stop.
Like, there's no breaks. Like,
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not like being a DJ, and I spent most of my life being a DJ where you can just press a button and hit autoplay and go get a drink, talk to somebody.
Yes.
I'm gonna lay down and go ahead. No, I'm kidding. But it's like, you guys, it's work. It's grueling. It's like construction. I
would say so. Yeah, physically, certainly. I mean, like, I've worked construction before. Like, I like. The main benefit of this is that you are playing music. Like, even if it becomes super difficult or you just become probably the worst case scenario would be like, barring any sort of chemical thing, and which I'll get into.
Sure.
The worst case scenario is you're going to be pretty bored,
Right.
Or if you are working one of those long days, like, you'll start to get like things like, I've got a heavy bass on my back, and my back is starting to hurt. I've had that for a while, and
Get a belt.
yeah, getting a big, like one of those braces or something. Yeah. And of course, this is from the perspective of somebody who's playing an instrument, whereas like with the human voice, that's a completely different thing. You really got to watch yourself and take care of that, because if you get damage that's permanent, that's it, And do you want to blow out your voice? Do you want to, put on the greatest show of your life and then not be able to put on any more shows for the rest of you?
Yeah.
So obviously, vocal health and all of that. That's a completely different beast. But anyway, going back to the issues. Physical issues that one could run into, they would be the physical issues that would come with any kind of consistent work. You do anything for 12 hours, there's going to be one like little thing that you can pick up on that you'd be like, oh well, I should tweak this, or this isn't very pleasant. What is that? A pleasure too often repeated ceases to be a pleasure. And that's true of music.
I might write that down.
Yeah, but. The one thing that I will say, the caveat to all of that is, like, even if you're having the worst possible shift, you have the worst possible show, you're hurting, you're physically whatever, like, you are still building upon your musical skill. You're shedding, you're sharpening the axe, you're getting better. And that is the thing that I love about doing Broadway is. And the way that I've thought about it is not so much that like this is my career, this is my job. This is the thing where I'm able to move around the fretboard that much easier, where I'm able to sing harmonies better, where I'm able to put on a better show, and I take that to my original material.
It's like your gym.
Yeah, precisely. It's a musical.
You got to do it every day
gym.
to get better.
Yeah,
Can't
exactly.
do it once a week. You got to keep going. Wow, that's great. I never thought about that analogy, but it really is. It keeps you in the same. And it almost is like the mantra of paying your dues. in front of the audience and honing your craft. I get that part.
Oh yeah.
So speaking on that, because I want to have time to speak on like what your other goals and ambitions relevant to what you're doing as a bass player musician, because I know you sing. I've seen some of his videos. So, since Aaron seems to be the writer and you were you and him seem to be the original connection.
Yeah, well, Scott, the drummer, Scott's been there since since even before Hippies and Cowboys was a thing. He was there, and he was the first Nashville guy that Aaron met that has just stuck around until now. So I got to give props to Scott Metkos. But Scott, myself, and Aaron are the three founding members of the group.
How'd they come up with that name?
Hippies and Cowboys came from, man, honestly, it was kind of just something that was said off the cuff, because we had been looking to get a band name for ages. And, we had some pretty ridiculous ones from time to time, and we would have one-off shows where we were like the Nashvilleans or the or the Stolen Hearts. That was an early one too.
Right.
The Stolen Hearts band.
Hearts,
Yeah, and and then just Aaron Sparling. Like at the time, it was just Aaron Sparling and the blank whatever, fill in the gap. Our old keyboard player Nolan, our old keyboard player Nolan. This was after a show downtown, and he just made some sort of offhand comment about that's what we are. We're just a bunch of hippies and cowboys, and that was it. That was the line, because we had been. You have to keep in mind, we were looking for a band name for so long and just racking our brains trying to find something. And then it was just like one of those aha moments where it was like, that's it. That has to be the band name. It has to be Hippies and Cowboys, Yeah.
It's like out of all the cars, this is the one car. and I could have sat way over there and I didn't, but that's okay.
All right.
He's leaving. What was I going to say? So they must be taking a break right now or something. How much time you got? Like a couple of minutes, or it's 7:37.
Yeah. I mean, the show's going to start around 8:00.
Okay, so we'll give it like a few more minutes because I don't want to. You see, right now you can reach him, by the way, at Kevin Corbett on bass. There's 2 O's, so get that right, on Instagram. That's what most of the musicians down here, especially the young
Instagram's
artists,
the big one.
Instagram
or TikTok.
Those are the business cards and the way to see you guys, right?
Yes,
absolutely,
pretty much.
Check them out, by the way. So I don't want to, so you guys, I know you had a song that I saw. It was 20 to Life. That came out a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Now, what material have you guys created? More material since then? And
certainly.
What's going on now with that?
Our first single, 20 to Life, came out, my goodness, I want to say it was either March or April of 2021. It's 2023 now. And we, it actually happened a little bit later than that. But it's been some time since our first release. And the last release that we have done so far was an entire live album, which was recorded down in Leapers Fork, Tennessee. Which, if you haven't been before, definitely go. That place is absolutely wonderful.
Really?
And the community there is just so wholesome and nice. And they have a place down there called Fox and Lock.
I've heard of that.
Yes.
It
was so Fox and Lock was the original name, and then it was renamed to Puckett's after the Puckett's family bought it out. And then after it was bought from the Puckett's family and changed back to the original name that it had been like 60, 70 years ago, Yeah. So, very, very wonderful place. And we had the honor of performing a couple of shows there over the past year and a half. And they've just been so good to us that it was like, we need to record these shows, professionally.
Sure.
And we just sort of spliced a few sections from certain shows together and created this cohesive album that we happen to be very proud of. I definitely like it. I like the album quite a bit.
What's it called?
live at Fox and Lock. So Hippies and Cowboys live at Fox and Lock.
Okay. Now is that on Sound?
It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. All of the streaming platforms, and we have it on vinyl. Yeah.
Oh wow, vinyl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
It's great.
Yeah. It's, album covers tell a story of a rock band. It's rock and roll.
Exactly.
It is rock and roll. You can thank everybody. You can thank your old girlfriend. You can thank your mom, whoever, school teacher.
True. Yeah. I mean, we went through all of it. I mean, if you open up the record and you really read through it, like it'll give you information on like where it was recorded, how it was recorded. Who recorded it, who mixed it, who mastered it, like all of that information. That to me, like if I'm listening to a song for the first time, I love getting a chance to learn about it, learn about how it was done, why it was done, the lyrics and all of that. And you don't really get that with commercial releases these days.
It's mostly singles digitally.
Yeah, exactly. With the digital thing,
it's
you
nice,
just don't
it's
have
convenient,
that.
But man, there's something about analog and old school. Yeah, I get it. You're talking old school here, but as far as all that, I mean, that's how I started vinyl as a DJ. So and beyond my album collection.
Yeah,
I see people. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No worries. No worries.
No.
Beyond that, it really amplifies the photography or the graphic design and all of that. Like it creates this whole artistic piece as opposed to just screen with the information, like the basic information about the track or the artist or whatever, and then that's it. It's I forget who said this originally, but it was that vinyl records, and this makes so much sense to me because of how much of a resurfacing there we go. Vinyl records have nowadays.
Clowning around, baby.
There he is.
Rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
That's the lead singer. Wait, say hi. This is now introduce yourself. This is the originator of Hippies and Cowboys. We were just talking about you. The whole story. Yeah,
my
absolutely.
ears were burning.
They should be on fire. This is Aaron. Now you're the songwriter. You're the lead singer of Hippies and Cowboys.
That's me. I'm Aaron Sparling. Originator, songwriter, just like you said. Now here recently we've been writing a lot of stuff together, but in the early days I wrote a lot of the shit, but nowadays we're coming together on some new stuff and clowning around, man. Yeah,
you guys have made a real beacon of yourselves here in the Nashville district, and that's why I was really excited to talk to and by the way, I'm gonna part 2 this with you.
All right, hey, I'm looking forward to it.
Because I can't get enough of you guys, man. It's seriously. So
well, thanks for having us and thanks for being a fan.
Oh man, I 100%. In fact, when anybody comes down to Nashville, you guys got to see Aaron. He's right on the main stage. He's singing everything out there. I've never seen him with the red nose, but I guess 'tis the season, right? So
yeah, there we go.
The theme of the party.
That's the theme of the party. I love that.
A bunch of clowns.
Yeah, and you always got a hat too.
Yeah, it's my signature.
Right, it's the Ronnie Van Zant. The Ronnie Van Zant.
Don't make him compare me to him.
Well, that's what the Hippies and Cowboys kind of thing is. It's it's Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin. It's all those Skinner. Right.
We love to keep the tradition alive of real American rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
We're keeping the flame going when a lot of bands are kind of letting it die in a lot of ways, and we're here trying to keep that rock and roll train going. Somebody's got to do it.
So keep it rolling all night long, right?
Yeah,
that train. Yeah, that's
great.
Hey,
man, thank you guys for being fans. Appreciate everybody. To go in and do some more clowning.
All right, brother. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you very much. We're just finishing up so he can jump on stage. Don't start without a bass player.
Yeah, true that,
man. They ain't rock and roll, no bass. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, there we go.
Unless somebody's humming. Anyway, well, I'm
glad he could stop it.
Yeah, that was great. That was nice. I love when that happened. That's Nashville, man. That's what I came here for. I'm from Detroit, the Motor City. They're playing at a place that made a guy famous in Detroit. It's now the place they play at, Kid Rock. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, there we go. And ironically enough, we're actually headed out to Detroit in a couple of days.
Are you really?
Wait, no, tomorrow. Yeah.
Are you really?
Tomorrow.
I should go back home. I'm going.
Yeah, there we go.
Where are you going to be?
We're going to be performing at the Tin Roof Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we're going to be up there for a travel day tomorrow. And
peeps back home, Tin Roof, go check them out.
Tin Roof, yeah.
Yeah, no, they'll come.
It's going to be a fantastic show. Yeah, Detroit has been. It's so crazy. It's like such a small world in this sense, but Detroit's been so good to us, and they've really become like a second family to us up there.
They will love you.
Our
Rock and roll
Detroit,
Detroit.
yeah, our Michigan and Detroit people, like that was really where, in many circumstances, a lot of this started. We had those shifts way back when, like in the middle of the pandemic, when like you weren't able to like get up and dance and stuff like that,
Right.
And now like so we've been with them for so long, and we've developed such a strong relationship, especially with the staff up there at the Tin Roof, that we're very excited to be back there. Basically the point.
Yeah, that's one of the things I want to do is get a lot of these guys so I can, because I also have agencies that have dealt with Bob Seger and all of them.
Hey, there we go. Yeah.
So hopefully maybe we can re-spark the trend. I'd like to go in there somehow and be part of that. But and I know you've been down in Florida because I've lived all over Florida, Orlando, Daytona, you name it, both sides. So you've been down there. Well, we don't have time to really get into all that anymore. Again, check him out on Instagram. If you come down, say hi to him over at the Kid Rock. What is it called? The Steakhouse, something. It's got a whole
Kid Rock's Big Ass Honky Tonk and Rock and Roll Steakhouse. That is the whole. I've seen the sign every single day. You're like, eventually you have to memorize it. You know?
I can't say what the name of the Cadillac. I can't say the rest of it. I could. I mean, we're not censored. I just
the VIP area.
Yeah.
I'll let them figure that out for themselves.
Right. Well, thank you for doing this, and you know what? Whoever, I know people will see this later. We can share it. We're going to share it with him. Go check him out. If you ever need a bass player or anything else, he's down here right now at the Underdog with Peter Keys and Lance Lopez, and of course you just saw Aaron's and from his band. And this is great, man. I really wish nothing but the best for you. He's got a long way to go. He's a baby. He's 26
now.
26.
Yeah.
I mean, I even dated him.
27 by the beginning of next month, so we'll see.
Yeah, he's just begun. Yeah. He's just begun to set fire to Nashville and everywhere else you go. They're going to treat you good. When he gets to Detroit, make sure you guys welcome him with a red carpet, okay? There's some restaurants I should send you guys to, too.
Yeah, definitely.
You like sushi? I got a great place.
Oh, yeah. No, there's some great places up there.
Too bad I'm in Indiana taking care of my dad. Okay. Pass the word. Hippies and Cowboys and Kevin.
We'll
Riley,
be in Indiana
Corbo.
soon enough. Hey, we're playing the veterans reunion next year, as a matter of fact.
Oh wow!
Yeah, next year. Yeah, at the Vets grounds in. I want to say it's close to Kokomo, but it's a wonderful. They've got a big reunion for all the Vietnam vets, and now they've expanded it to where it's veterans from like Korean War and Afghanistan and Iraq and whatnot. But they've got a wonderful gathering that they do every single year. And we're going to be the headlining act for that. So definitely look out for that if you're in Indiana.
Wow. Yeah. I love Indiana. I've been all over, man. I was just at the NSAI and they're going, what's a cool word to put in from Indiana? And I blurted out Terre Haute, Terre Haute, whatever. And they go, yeah, Terre Haute, whatever.
Right.
So yeah, I love Indianapolis. That's a rocking town too. Bloomington's another cool place you guys should play. I should make some calls for these guys. I really should.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, because because you guys don't have an agent right now, do you?
We do it internally. It's not that we don't have an agent. It's that we've organized ourselves in such a way that really the only thing that we would be missing at this point is direct management. But that isn't even necessarily something that we're interested in looking for. I mean, like the way that we've set it up is like we own everything. We own it. We take care of it. We manage it ourselves. And we have, different people manage different elements of it, certainly, some more than others. But we all do it through internally, which is fantastic, honestly. Because, I mean, that means that we can still work with agents here and there.
Cool. Well, I would definitely put some feelers out for you guys.
Hey, there we go. Excellent.
One main show. But one last thing. Because I don't want you to leave without either giving some words of advice or wisdom that you have for any artist out there, bass play and more, that would come down to Nashville, or you can also add this little bit of this more so if you want, is, what do you see? What do you want to be remembered for in this game? And as far as what your future, 'cause you've got a long way to go.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably the simplest answer that I could give to that was, not necessarily like fame or popularity or anything like that. I definitely have a deep and innate respect for the history of music and where a lot of this stuff came from. I'm wearing I don't know if they can see that, but I'm wearing a Fame Studios shirt, which we're going to be recording down there in Muscle Shoals sometime later next year. So that'll be a really fantastic opportunity and a fantastic studio down there. But point being, I have a very innate and deep respect for the people who have built and created these genres and these communities musically.
Mm-hmm.
And really, ultimately, my goal is to be a part of something that is just really, really cool, artistically, culturally, all of that.
Well, you know what? That's well said. I love the way he talks, isn't he? There's something about these musicians down here. You would think that, hey, I've got this thing going on, like that, and they're so clean. I mean, I don't smell anything. Like, that's it. I mean, I'll keep that aside. I asked the last interview I did. Who? I asked them about the groupies, and there's like 4 guys, and they're all like. Like, okay, we won't get that. And the other person,
no, all of that stuff. I mean, like I said, I could
very
tell you,
smart.
Yeah. I could certainly tell you stories, but I mean, they're not so interesting or as far reaching or as impactful, I think, as talking about, what it's all about to begin with, which is the music, the music, the art, and the community.
Yep.
So there we go.
There you go. Well, Kevin, thank you so much, man.
It's been wonderful, man. I appreciate you having me on.
No, man, I love to see. I got to do it, man. I got to do it. I got to let anybody out there, years from now, I want you to show your kids, your grandkids, whoever, anybody out there, send it to your mom. Hey, mom, are you there? She's okay. Good. Everything good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So mom brought him down here, and that must be a nice thing. That's pretty close still.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
And then there's Aaron over there. You didn't bring us a beer or nothing.
One for himself.
We're getting ready to sign off. You're going to be our next. You want to be? I'm going to get him to do another one. I'm going to get you to do
You
one of
wouldn't
these.
dare have me on your podcast.
Why not? Absolutely, absolutely. You can do whatever you want, brother.
Yeah,
I would love that.
just wear a raincoat for the little flower that spurts water.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just pull some stuff out of my sleeve here.
How against getting a pie in the face are you?
I think he's asking you.
No, I think it's you. Well, me, I'll take one for the team. I don't care. I prefer lemon meringue, I guess.
All right, well, hey, now,
Key
don't
lime.
get too classy on me.
Oh, here we go.
You like whipped cream?
Cheap
is the
apple.
question.
Yeah, whipped cream will do fine. Yeah, as long as it's ready whipped.
Yeah. Hey, man. Yeah, thanks for.
He's coming up. He's coming up soon. Oh, my autofocus is going a little nuts there. So, hey, hold on, let me turn this up brighter. I think it's because you're in the background and moving around, and that's okay.
Well,
That's okay. We're getting a little. You guys can deal with it. We're getting ready to fade out anyway. Fade to black. So, thank you, Kevin. Thank you for stopping by.
yeah, hey, thanks a
Hippies
lot.
and Cowboys right here. Bass.
If you guys
lead
are watching
singer,
this live, come down to the Underdog tonight. It's going to be a great show.
the
Peter
underdog.
Keys from Leonard Skinner, Lance Lopez, one of the baddest mamma jammas in the business. Come on down.
Thank you so much, guys. I
Yeah.
can't wait. This is
All right,
what Nash
peace
is
out.
all about. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you. Thank you for joining us at Nash Talk over here in downtown Nashville at the Underdog. And Kevin Corbo, thank you very much. All right,
Absolutely.
brother. All right,
Peace and love, man.
Oh, peace and love back. We're sitting there. What is the actual handshake of Nashville?
Honestly, it's kind of like that.
I'm still
That's
trying
pretty
to
much
figure
it.
out.
It's kind of loose. You
In
don't have to
Detroit,
worry
it's
about it
this.
so much.
Give me your money. No, I'm just kidding. Where your car? All right.
Oh,
All right, man.
goodness.
We're out. We're done.
All right.
You got to go to work.
Peace and love, man.
Peace and love.